With the second season of The Lord of the Rings of Power newly released, a particular point in the storyline has fans of the show and fans of J.R.R. Tolkien's original novels divided. A good girl falling for a bad boy's charm doesn't need to apply to every relationship, despite what book talk might say. The relationship between Galadriel and Sauron has a romantic undertone, with the official ship name being Saurondriel, that fans feel strays from the lore and will need to change significantly as the story progresses and ties into the original trilogy. The television series is an adaptation of Tolkien's tales set around the Second Age of Middle-earth. However, Prime Video doesn't have the rights to a page-to-screen adaptation of the source material about the Second Age. With this in mind, Amazon has to take creative liberties to fill in the gaps between storylines involving characters from the original material. The showrunners were bound to receive backlash because book-to-screen adaptations come with challenges, and they run the risk of creating divisive discourse among fans. The connection between Galadriel and Sauron needs to change from the romantic underlying theme to explain the dichotomy of the characters and why that's the reason for their connection. As The Rings of Power adapts Tolkien's appendices from The Lord of the Rings, many things are changed. Since the first season aired in 2022, many fans have been unhappy with the take on Galadriel's character, especially her interactions with Sauron. Morally, the two characters are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Galadriel is renowned for being one of the most powerful and wisest elves. She represents hope, wisdom, and the light that resists Sauron's power. Sauron is the evil of all evils, he's corruption personified. The series derails from Tolkien's novels by having the two characters interact with each other, as there is no indication that Sauron and Galadriel ever met. Having them interact more in the television series and hinting at their connection with a possible romantic undertone strays from Tolkien's intentions regarding the characters. Galadriel's and Sauron's character arcs in Rings of Power. Galadriel is the Third Age Queen in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy. By this point, audiences have a sense that her arc is one of enlightenment and redemption. She's dedicated to opposing darkness, and the creators of the Prime Video series are tasked with getting her character to that point. Her character doesn't need to be romantically connected to Sauron to reach the point of resisting his power. Instead, the showrunners can focus on the psychological battle between the two characters. Sauron is defined by his ability to manipulate and deceive. Attempting to humanize him with a possible relationship with Galadriel negates the intention behind the character, who's meant to be the embodiment of evil. His effectiveness as a villain relies on him being a mythic figure, which fans of the books want to remain present. This disconnect from people allows Sauron to instill fear, and humanizing him with a personal connection, even if it's still a manipulation tactic, risks disdain from some viewers. Discourse between fans of the Lord of the Rings series and books fans of the original material struggle to accept the narrative the showrunners are portraying in the series. Galadriel has her own agency, and conflicting that with a love interest takes away from her character. Fans on Reddit are not holding back from this debate.